Hello, hello, hello. I am here with big winter clothes. It is very, very cold. We finally got the living room to heat up fairly enough for me to meditate on the couch, look out into the garden, and make a rock meditation video. So that's very nice. Paul is listening to the walkie-talkie weather radio. We don't have internet here. I'm gonna upload this in about a week when we get to the other house. And my t-shirt is stained, so I put my gloves over the t-shirt stains. There are two hands that are touching me right now. It looks funny. I like it. I'm listening to the Grand Mass by Mozart, and that should be mandatory school education material for all children. Okay, so I'm absolutely clear on that. So if a child grows up with Mozart, Bach, Beethoven, and other composers, particularly the three really big ones, the three biggies. Mozart all the way on the top, of course. Yes. The other two are not trailing far behind. I mean, they're all equally genius and amazing. It's just that Mozart is, I don't know, by hairs width on top. Okay, and the Requiem and the Grand Mass, written for the Christian Church. Those compositions they're beyond words, really. There's a chapel nearby that we went to when we looked at the Christmas lights. That was, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something. And they had quite a Christmas light show. And there's a chapel, a modern chapel. Usually I don't go into a chapel or a church that is new, that has been built new. But it really depends on who built it and who is the architecture. So apparently a couple from Southern California came here and built this chapel, and I don't know what kind of denomination or religion that chapel is hosting or that what kind of religion has embedded itself into the chapel, let's put it that way, because the chapel stands for itself, just as the music by Mozart. I also see the chapels that have been built or the cathedrals that have been built in the Middle Ages in Europe. There are many of those, of course, and I've been in many of those just for the awe, for the adoration of the ornaments and the amazing architecture and craftsmanship of those structures that are usually very tall. They want to represent the celestialness of the blue god. They call it God. So it is the blue god, of course. They are trying to aspire to it as best as they knew, as best as they could. And they didn't know better with a lot of stuff, because the ego got in the way. So That's a big subject alone. I could talk about this for the rest of my life. I've been to many chapels, many cathedrals, many churches. We listened to Weihnachtsoratorien from Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, organ compositions that have amazing acoustics in those buildings. They have amazing organs also that are very well maintained, that have been repaired, that have been renewed, remodeled, and so on. Organs from that have been replaced, of course, they can. The old, really old organs from the Middle Ages. I don't know how far they make it. So, a couple of 100 years before they get completely out of tune or are warped or something, or have water damage, or had rats gnawing on them. So, but they have done amazing work. Some of those cathedrals in Eastern Germany that used to belong to the Soviet Union, some of those had been bombed during the Second World War. Some of those churches and cathedrals were so demolished that parts of the buildings were broken off and stuff. And then after the war, during the Soviet Union, the Soviet regime was again completely opposed to anything that had to do with religion. See, this is a mistake always, They think we got the answer and the solution. Communism. No, that's a complete misunderstanding too. Because then they weren't even communist, because the people in charge, the apparatchiks, they had everything they wanted. They were traveling freely around the world. They were sitting with high-ranking officials from around the globe, eating gourmet food from the West, buying all kinds of expensive designer clothes, while the people in the Soviet Union, the other people there, had to put up with their own homemade improvisations. So I don't know, some people were probably very good at craftsmanship, and the stuff was it. The Russian, Soviet, the Eastern European, Soviet communism they were very, very serious about this. It was coming closest to what Karl Marx was talking about in many ways. So in many ways there was a big plus also. I'm not all totally debunking all of it, but the problem with it is something like this is, who runs a regime like this? It's people, right? People with egos, people that are corrupt, of course. There were people among the apparatchiks, it was an oligarchical system, a few that are in charge, okay, and they had everything, and they made money like you cannot imagine. They would never disclose this to any of those economist papers or whatever. They would never disclose how much money they have. They're ashamed. They know what they have done is absolutely incredibly wrong. They have exploited their public that was supporting them tooth and nail and working hard for them, making them money, and living in extreme modest situations. Much more modest even than we live. We live pretty modestly. We really do. It may not look like it for my videos, but when I get up at night to go to the bathroom, I go into a cryo tank. It's like every time I go to the bathroom, hello cryo tank. Okay, now let me chill every cell in my body, like shock chill, right? So the toilet seat isn't the warmest either. Okay. And then I go back to bed and I go, I'm so tired, I need to sleep, but hey, my body is wide awake, Shock chilled. I have stains on my t-shirt. I gotta bleach that. It's like cryo tank. Total, like some kind of spa treatment. But in the middle of the night, like I don't know how often I go to the bathroom, 5 times. Oh, and then it takes me a long time to fall back asleep, and it's very difficult. So we live extremely frugally also because we have to. I have absolutely no money at all. Okay. I'm kind of like, sort of like some kind of ascetist Buddhist monk who surrendered all the money to the landlord, Paul, or whatever, So, yeah, I had a lot of problems with my bank account and all of that, and meltdowns, and during an emotional meltdown, borderline meltdown, I went to the bank. Then they treated me real hellishly at the bank, and then I said, I'm gonna terminate my account. And they don't care if I terminate my account. So there was a guy staring at me, and the women working at the bank, after they saw that guy standing there staring at me, they treated me like hell, absolute hell. And I was in a very sour mood that whole time. That was 2 months after the papa had died. I was in absolute horror. I have also been extremely mean to people in the chat room, but not in a sadistic way. Just was very angry, and I said very angry things also. And I got attacked by Muslim men. So when they see someone depressed or in deep grief over a dog or child, they think, now is my chance. She's in deep grief, she's depressed, she's suicidal. Let me kick her down. Okay. And that's what they tried. Mukhtar and all of these people. And when a woman says, I stand for myself and I am sexually independent, and I just to mention something like this, just mentioning I have needs too, like everyone else, then they go, oh, she's offering herself, ha ha ha. No, I wasn't. I was trying to make a point, but they completely missed the point. It was absolute hell. I was on the couch having to give myself affirmations for hours because of that, of the abuse in the chat room 2 years ago. It was absolute horror. Communism, the way it was practiced, it's always a matter of how do people practice it. If it's practiced in an ideal way, then it may work, but it doesn't. It's not practiced in an ideal way. It wouldn't matter what system we have. If it's practiced in a responsible, ideal way, it works. Capitalism too. Socialist market structure. Democracy works when people make it work. That's all there is to it. We don't have to have any system, really. We don't even have to have any label for anything, any kind of system. A system, a community works when people are working with each other. When they don't kick each other down when they see someone depressed, when they don't take advantage of someone who is financially not very intelligent or something. They see, functioning means I see someone financially not intelligent, I will help that person. I will try to empower that person. I will say, hey, take care of your financial assets, okay? Take care of your bank account. Take care of this. Whatever it is. And I give you advice or whatever. I'm not giving anyone advice on it because I am the one who doesn't know anything about finances. But I say this as an example. Okay, so people need to help each other. Someone with experience in this or that should help the other person who doesn't have experience. I have experience in psychology. I can help people with that. Most people won't listen because of the ego. Okay, so there's so much stuff going through my mind. Everything docks onto it. Everything ties into everything, really. It's one big picture where everything is really interconnected. Multi-connections. When the brain is fully functioning, the brain makes all of these multi-connections. The brain is not locked into just one thing. Like, the brain is not just locked into what you learned in medical school. If your brain is in an intelligent state and calm and fully functioning, if you are a physician, for example, just using this as an example now, then you see the big picture with the pharma industry, the greed. You see how the surgeries don't fix anything, really, that the person eventually gets sick again. The same thing starts again because they live a horrific lifestyle with high cholesterol, food and so on, and stress and unhappiness and suppressing feelings and all of that. Suppressing emotions causes the worst type of stress there is. It doesn't get any worse than that. That's the worst, absolute worst stress anyone. That's a real malicious type of stress. Okay, when people suppress emotions by whatever, dragging it down or bullying other people or whatever they use to act it out, to run away from. the emotions. That causes the worst type of stress. Capitalism doesn't work either because people are corrupt. Okay, no, we can clearly see it now. And anyone who will look at it can clearly see it. Okay, capitalism, the United States is falling apart. Why? Not because of capitalism by itself, the idea of capitalism, but because of the way it's being practiced. So, like I said, it wouldn't matter what kind of system we have. There could be no label, there could be just people together trying to make life work, right? If they make life work, if they help each other, if one says, I'm good at this, I can supply this, I can teach you this. The other person says, I know more about this, so I can teach you all about that. Okay, that's how it works. So if people don't have the ego standing in the way saying, I'm not going to listen to her, I'm not going to learn from a woman. So now that's neurosis, that's mental illness. I'm not judging it from my perspective because I see how bad it is, particularly in men. The indoctrination that they have experienced in their lives from their fathers and father figures and male authority figures and so on. Whatever they, people that were men that thought Ted Nugent was their mentor or something. I mean, that's what I mean, it's when insanity becomes more insane. And then, of course they want to be all as macho as it gets. And then the sexuality docks onto this. And then it just takes off in the wrong direction. Okay. It shoots sideways or south. It doesn't go anywhere. It just makes the world more and more chaotic and crazy and insane and suffering. Okay, this is the truth. What I'm saying. Put some nail polish on, maybe later. I mixed up some colors. Nail polish colors. I don't use them very often. I let it like completely fade, like they grow back, and then it's just a little piece of nail polish left on the tip. Because it's growing back from here, actually, also. And I like nail polish. It looks much nicer. It looks cuter. But I absolutely like short fingernails. Really short fingernails are a must for me. Okay. So I'm just speaking for myself. I tried long fingernails when I was in my 20s, or like when I was 21, or no, how old was I? 19 or 20, something like that. I tried high heels, I tried long fingernails, and they would break off. It would hurt also. I'm an artist, I constantly work with my fingers. And I would twist my ankle with the higher heel. It's all bullshit, It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Just to be liked. It's not. No, I have to like myself. That's really. I love my body. I love myself. I don't need to be wearing some ridiculous stuff. So in order to be liked, if people don't like me, if they can only like me with high heels, then I make their lives easy. Don't look in my direction anymore. So you can. There are plenty of women who will cater to that kind of fetish and stuff like that, who will be constantly pedicuring themselves with veneers and stuff like this because the original fingernails break off. It's all bullshit, really seriously. I'm a realist. But I'm a realist in a reason way, not a realist in a way where I say, I have to completely debunk this or that, whatever people say and all of that. It can always go into, saying I'm a realist can. This whole idea of I'm a realist can be very misunderstood by a lot of people, Like atheism, for example. They think they're realists. They haven't even seen the whole picture yet of what's going on. There is a whole world of the occult. Okay. Man, they are crazy. I don't know why my eyelid is itching. I have some hairs there that are tickling me. Sometimes my hairs are tickling my skin, and then I scratch and then it breaks out. Anyone who says I got the answer, they're already completely mistaken. Okay? Nobody has the complete solution. Let's Karl Marx. Let's do communism. That's the ultimate solution. Or Hegel. The ultimate solution now, but it's not. Or René Descartes. Or whoever these people are. I got it now. Yeah, I got the ultimate solution now. No, they don't have the ultimate solution. Absolutely not. I have to cover the stains. The ultimate solution. Okay. I can only come up with solutions that are tentative, to use that word. Tentative means I am trying to approach the ultimate solution in any given moment. In any given moment of time. In this time frame continue. Okay. In another moment there may be another solution that's required, another idea, another modality that needs to be invented to fix something or to make things more livable and so on. One solution is not stagnant, it's not linear, okay? Everything is non-linear. It is fluent, okay? Everything is fluent in a complete flow all the time. Everything in us and around us, everything is constantly flowing and growing and becoming and expanding. Okay. We're constantly learning. Even those people that lean back and don't want to learn, in some way they are learning too. They learn that their lives suck. They lean back and smoke one. And what they learn from it is that that lifestyle sucks and is not going anywhere. It's not making them money. It's not making them have friends or real intimate relationships. No, it's just some kind of like a dudism. There was a guy made a movie about the dudist. The dudist just wants the vaginas coming to him and not do anything, just smoke constantly, smoke weed, and have the vaginas coming to him and doing lap dances. And he doesn't have to do anything about it. It's just, I'm in paradise, man. But like, eventually he will learn, bro, I don't have anyone in my life who I can lean on, you know. I don't have anyone in my life who I find lovely, who I want to hang out with, you know. So they're just a bunch of party girls, and they view it the same way, you know. They do the veneer fingernails, the high heels, they do the lap dances, and at the end of the day, they don't have an intimate relationship. They just have some bondage connections. That's all. Is that what people are looking for? I don't think so. I really don't think so. There's lots of misunderstandings in the world about existence. I see all of that. I understand that so clearly now. So, what I have to offer is the holistic path. I don't think there's anyone who would be on board with that. And if there isn't, then that's how it has to be. You are on the internet, you are there in your community, you do your thing. You might listen to my videos, but maybe you don't hear the message. And I have to leave it at that. That's how it is, okay? If you don't show yourself to me, anyone I'm really talking about. So, if you don't want a real friendship, I'm just talking friendship right now. I'm not even talking about dating. So, for me to fall in love with someone, I can have a crush and all of this, but for me to really fall in love with someone, that's a whole other world, okay, altogether. That's not internet second life or self-made second life, the cheap second life, chat rooms, self-fabricated. It's all cute, you know. It's creative. Some of it is cruel. Some of it is creative, and that's good too. That's artwork too, in some way, you know. So ultimately, the dude learns something too. He learns that this shit didn't work out really. I'm still not happy. Okay. So he learned something there, even if it's just in just one footstep increments. Someone who is willing to drop the ego into the ego dissolution funnel, someone who's willing to do meditation, they will open up their brains without psychedelics. They will open up their brains, and if you really let go, if you take psychedelics and you're still in resistance emotionally, then the psychedelics don't even do you any good. It just throws you into something that you can't even handle. Like Paul said, Paul always quoting that movie where the guy says you can't handle the truth. Well, most egos can't handle the truth, and they do ayahuasca sessions, and I wanted to talk about that also the other day, about the ayahuasca session that my brother attended in Berlin. He told me about it, and there was this girl who was standing in the middle of the room, and she kept saying in German, "Not my father, not my father, not my father, not my father, not my father." It's like you open up your brain and you get what you ask for, right? You see shit from your past. You see the very shit you did not want to see. The very shit you tried to run away from your whole life. And then, let's do this ayahuasca session. This is en vogue now. It is fashionable. I want to fit in, right? Let me break open my brain and can't handle anything that comes up. Not my father. Girl, almost all of us have to face it at some point, that because almost all of us had that father. You know what I'm talking about, who sexually abused us as a child in some form or another. Okay, some do it in the most cruel ways. Some do it in a covert way. Some do it in a, like, let's play doctor way. She won't notice. Yeah, she does. Her body does. Just as every dog and cat feels everything, notices everything. You can see it if you pay attention. A child, I've seen, there was a guy once, I don't know who, I'm not gonna mention any names, but there was a guy that contacted me on Facebook. And please don't misunderstand this. This is not a judgment from the higher perspective. Okay. There was a guy, I think I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say it. There was a guy who contacted me on Facebook, guy from the East Coast, and he had a photo of him holding his little daughter, like 2-year-old daughter, in his arms, holding her on his chest and making a photo. And that little girl, if you're attuned and you see that photo, you know exactly what's going on there. Okay? That little girl, the way he looked at the little girl, like like this, and the little girl, that makes me cry. The little girl's facial expression, like, wants to please, wants to be smiling for the camera already at age 2 and everything, wants to please daddy, love me, daddy protect me, right? And already a completely uneasy facial expression, like that. 2-year-old little girl. God, I could cry rivers for that. What's going on in the world? Okay. And so obviously all of this, penalty, judgment, none of that works. Okay. People hammer these people into the head psychologically, and they judge them and they make them feel even worse. That guy is already suffering like hell, right? He has absolutely nothing under control in his life. He's taking drugs, all of that. Totally unconscious about everything. It's infinitely sad. So I see there's only one path that we can take with this, and that is the inwardness meditation process. And for that we have to have therapy help centers that are community centers also. And like I said many times before, I already explained that we have to have the therapy help center. One is the open door, open community center for everyone to go to. Okay, there'll be four. Okay, the first one is the open one. It's a community center that's religion free, where people can go, where they don't get sermons shoved down their throats. Okay, where everyone can go if they are somewhat functional and not dirty and not smell like cigarettes and alcohol and all of this. If they are somewhat together and but suffer still, if they suffer, they will get help there. If they're lonely, they can go there and they will get help. We will have group session from 5 to 8 every day, and then after the group session we eat dinner together at 9 or 8:30. I mean, I'm just suggesting time. We could make it earlier also, but somewhat like that. We did that at the center in LA at the Primal Center. That was very nice. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't the way I would make it. And then again, I don't have the ultimate solution either, because every solution I offer is in accordance to this moment, this point in time. Okay, so, and I am striving towards figuring out the best solutions for society, for all of us on Earth and beyond. Okay. We need these open door community centers. We need to have group sessions there every day for everyone for free. Not like in LA at the Primal Center where they charged you a Rolls Royce and a house in Malibu. Okay, that's how much money I already spent there. Man, I could really live well if I didn't spend the money on them. Okay, so that they can live to the fullest. But okay, they deserve it. They have brought something amazing into the world, and it has helped me. It has. It has helped me. It was definitely a stepping stone, and it was a helping hand psychologically for me, definitely, to move me forward and into the right direction. But then we have to become inventive, and that's what Arjanov wants us to do. He wants us to carry that on, he had his hopes in me, and I'm infinitely grateful for him. He saw me, and I was 26 at that time, and he said, you need to make this, you need to carry that on. And he wants me to improve it, not be stagnated with old mistakes. No, we want to improve it. We want to make it better. I don't want to. I don't want to continue like this, where we have to dive into the primal pain and all. I don't want to call it primal therapy. Also, for that reason, I want to call it the inwardness meditation process. Okay? So, and we can't be pushing ourselves into it. People started to app-react, which is an act out. They were thinking they were going into the emotions, but they weren't. So no, that has to happen holistically. That has to happen naturally. For some people, it might take 10 years before they suddenly start feeling. If that's what it takes, then that's how long it takes. Okay, but they're not dormantly sitting there. Well, it may look like there's nothing going on in them. No, there's a lot going on in that person. That person just sitting there listening to my videos, sitting there in a group session and not feeling anything, and they can say all day long, I can't cry, or I have never cried. Maybe in 10 years, suddenly it opens itself up. You have reached that point where your body does feel safe to cry, and to cry all of that out. And it doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. I have seen men cry pitifully at the center. Those are my role models. I really respected them, particularly Jim. When I heard Jim cry, the sadness in him. He was like 50 or something. And I'm sure he wanted us girls, Elsa and me, but he would never force it. He knew better, he would never be coming on to us and for forcing himself or anything, or creeping or anything. No, he was just loving and giving and nice, and he let whoever wants to be his friend come naturally to him. And I talked to him a couple of times. I felt safe with him. I felt safe around him. I wasn't attracted to him, but I felt safe with him. I saw he was suffering a lot. But he was really going through it. He was in the flow state. And I heard him cry there, and hearing Jim cry, that alone was therapy for me. When people do it on their own, not for someone else. Jim did it the right way. I can really say in retrospect, Jim was my best therapist in that way, even though he's never been my therapist. I had Esther and Shanti and Leslie, and one or two times Franz Janov, and I have to say, Jim, listening to Jim cry, that was more therapy for my brain than anything else, because he was living by example. He was going into that ego dissolution funnel, and that did stuff to me. That registered with my brain. I was like, whoa, I admire him. He's really going into it. Oh no, I'm getting really cold. I don't know what happened now. He must have turned the heater down or something. Ooh. It's getting chilly. Paul tends to always turn the heaters down. This is a big struggle. Real big struggle is this. I need these warm hands on me, on my chest. The Transylvanian gloves. Oh man, I don't need to look at a video somewhere out there in Kazakhstan. I'm already freezing. But yeah, all I need to do is think of you and I heat up. Yeah, you need to show me a video of Kiribati and Bikini Atoll, where we don't have to wear a bikini. We can go naked into the radiated water. But I don't care if the water is radiated. And at this point, I just want to go there real fast and go into that warm ocean and heat up. That's all I'm thinking about right now. Maybe at some point someone is gonna take me to the Bikini Atoll and drop me off. I don't mind, but I will be hell for the people there. They are slaughtering pigs on the Bikini Atoll. That won't happen when I'm there. Trust me. I'm gonna speak out. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna protect those pigs with my body. With living body shield. Okay. I will lay myself over those pigs and at the Bikini Atoll. And I will say, if you kill him, you have to kill me first. Okay. And teach by example. And then I'm gonna say, so now that I cleared all of this up, let's set up group therapy. Every day, all of you Pacific Islanders, come on over, and whoever lives there, some weed smoker, okay, come on over. Weed is not allowed. I saw they already have some amazing building there. We can just transform that building that they have there overlooking the ocean into the therapy help center. That'll be a dream come true. My gosh, that'd be amazing to do that. Okay, don't breed the pigs anymore. Don't do it. No more breeding of pigs. Keep the males and females separated. That's sad, all of this, but you know, they will overpopulate, and then you think you have to cut them. No, we can't do it. Maybe we can neuter them. I don't know. Now everyone has to become a vegetarian. And I will teach that, and I will teach growing your own food plants. I already talked to these people on YouTube. They were not ready to listen. At some point I had to leave that conversation because it wasn't going anywhere. Because they identified their egos with the carnivorism. And not just that, but with they identified it with their male ego, and they also identified it with their culture. Now, when all of this is tethered to those kind of things, then it becomes pretty difficult to talk any sense into people. So, but I said what I said. I gave facts, and I gave inspiration, and that's what I do. Okay, and what they do with that is their business. Okay, that's not up to me. I can't force them. But if I was living there, out there in the South Pacific Islands, I would definitely stand up for the animals, for sure. I would not be a welcomed tourist. They might even shoot me dead and then throw me into that nuclear reactor that's out there. Who knows? But I will always stand up for the animals. That's the most important thing, okay? To stand up for the innocent beings. Alright, so video is already long. I'm going to sign out. Peace out, brothers and sisters.